In October 2016, a former guard named Derek was leading a private tour through Eastern State Penitentiary when he stopped cold in the middle of cell block 12. His face went pale. The tourists asked if he was okay. He didn't answer. He just stared into an empty cell and whispered, "That's not possible. I locked that door myself 30 years ago." The door was open. The lock was still bolted from the outside. Eastern State Penitentiary was once hailed as the future of incarceration. When it opened in 1829 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, its design was revolutionary. A massive stone fortress with individual cells radiating from a central hub, each with its own skylight to allow prisoners a glimpse of heaven. But isolation drove men insane. Prisoners spent years in complete silence, alone in stone cells, forbidden from speaking or seeing another human face. Many broke, some never recovered. The prison closed in 1971, but the stone walls remember everything. Cell Block 12 is the most notorious section. It sits at the far end of the complex, partially collapsed, with rusted iron doors hanging from broken hinges. The air there feels different, thicker, colder, even in the middle of summer. Tour guides avoid it when possible. Those who do venture inside report the same phenomena. Disembodied voices whispering names, always just barely audible. Footsteps echoing from empty corridors. And worst of all, the sensation of being watched by something that doesn't want you there. Derek had worked at Eastern State for over a decade before it became a historic site. He knew every cell, every corridor. But even he refused to go into cell block 12 after dark. He once told a colleague about an experience he had in the early 1980s, when the building was still abandoned and forgotten. He'd been checking the perimeter when he heard singing a low, mournful hymn echoing from deep inside the block. He followed the sound to cell 136. The singing stopped the moment he reached the doorway. Inside, scratched into the wall in jagged letters, were the words, "Still here." Modern visitors report nearly identical experiences. In 2018, a woman named Monica entered cell block 12 during a daytime tour. She felt fine at first, walking slowly down the main corridor. But as she approached cell 142, a wave of nausea hit her, so suddenly she had to brace herself against the wall. Then came the panic, primal terror with no clear source. She described it as feeling like something was standing directly behind her, leaning in close, breathing on her neck. She turned and saw nothing. But the feeling didn't stop until she left the block entirely. Security cameras installed throughout the prison have captured unexplained phenomena. Shadows moving across walls where no one stands. Orbs of light drifting through sealed cells. In one incident, footage from cell block 12 showed a door slamming shut with such force that dust exploded from the frame, but no one was near it. When staff reviewed the footage, they noticed something else. Just before the door slammed, a shadow passed in front of the camera. It was tall, humanoid, and moving against the direction of the light source. Former inmates, now elderly, have shared stories that guards tried to suppress for years. They speak of the man in cell 136, a presence that would scratch at the walls at night and whisper threats through the iron door. Some claim to see his shadow moving beneath the door gap, pacing endlessly. No official record exists of who occupied that cell or why it was permanently sealed in 1963. Eastern State Penitentiary remains open for tours, but cell block 12 is roped off from public access. The official reason is structural instability, but staff privately admit there's another reason. People don't come back the same. Some leave crying, others refuse to speak. One investigator who spent a night there described hearing his own name whispered from a cell behind him in his father's voice. His father had been dead for 12 years. Eastern State may have closed its doors decades ago, but whatever lived in its isolation still paces those cells, still whispers, still waits. This is frightening because isolation doesn't just break the living, it traps them, even after death.